This is the blame game. When I was younger, I used to always blame everybody for everything that happened to me, you know. That was my self of getting out of things, you know. Well, it's his fault that I stole this. It's his fault that I went to prison. It's her fault that, you know, I broke up with her, right? How many times do we blame people for what happens to us, right? Well, again, in 1993, when I took, you know, action in my life, which was I was already older than most people, you know, some of you probably got this a little younger, some of you probably got this a little older. But in 1993, I started learning how to take initiative and start taking responsibility for my actions. You know, I took actions for, you know, for what I done. You know, I started, you know, telling myself, hey, the reason, you know, that relationship broke was because of my fault. The reason that this happened was because of my fault. You know, I started taking initiative and responsibility to be honest with myself, right? Because today and date, I see a lot of men who are men. I'm saying, you know, older people, but mentally they're young, right? They're still young. They still haven't, you know, caught on to life the way it's supposed to be, right? Meaning taking responsibility for your actions, right? A lot of times we want to blame everybody else. Well, it's her fault that I'm, you know, that I'm a drinker. You know, it's his fault that, you know, that we got into this mess. You know, if I wouldn't have been in the car, you know, we wouldn't have got pulled over. You know, or if I did this, you know, I did it because of so and so. We keep putting the blame on people for things that happen to us. Why don't you start putting the responsibility and taking initiative to say, hey, it's my fault that I was in that car when we got busted. Hey, it's my fault that, you know, I was there at the wrong place at the wrong time, you know. Hey, it's my fault that this relationship, you know. Once you start taking responsibility for the things that happen around you and in your relationships, you'll start to grow out of, you know, self-sabotaging yourself or blaming people for the things that are happening to you. You know, many times we can blame a lot of people, but in reality, when you take initiative, you start seeing growth in your life. You start seeing things happen differently in your life. But until you take that responsibility, it's always somebody else's fault. It's always, you know, the person that's working with me that you know, if he didn't work this way or he didn't look at me this way, you know, I wouldn't act this way. Well, you know what? There's always going to be people around you. Always going to be people around you that are going to be the way they are or do things that they do. You're never going to be able to change all these people, right? When you begin to take responsibility for the things that happen around you that's part of your life, you'll begin to grow out of seeing yourself being dictated by other people's actions and other people's feelings. You see, this is really key, important in your life. You so emotionally wrecked sometimes because of the way people look at you or the way people treat you, right? But if you want to get out of that, you start taking responsibility with those things in your life. You know, start looking how you can grow past people's expectations or people's, you know, faults that they bring against you. You start looking how you can get past those things, right? And how you can become better within yourself.